This video that we're about to show you breaks down what critical race theory is at the end of the day. When you take away all the euphemisms and all the polite talk and all the lipstick that they try to put on it, this is what critical race theory is at the end of the day.
White people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with, that it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually. So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually, instead of people of color and black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy, that y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons. So in this particular way, white people are all racist. So I just want y'all to know that up front.
If that video didn't set a fire in your stomach, if the idea that your kids are being taught to hate themselves, to hate you, to hate each other because of the color of their skin, if that doesn't get you angry, then I don't know what will. You know, I'll be honest, I am 25 years old now. I'm single, I do not have kids. But that still brings something out of me that I am not overly proud of, in anger. And it's important not to let anger fester inside, absolutely. But there is justified anger. And the idea that the children that I want, that I plan on having, that family that I plan on starting, that stands to be ripped apart by a bill of goods being fed to my kids, a bill of goods that says equality of opportunity is bullshit, that the only way to achieve a racist-free society is through equity of outcome, right? Even if that means that you're an Asian student with great grades and awesome accolades, but you are denied the opportunity to go to a great school because there are too many Asian kids there already. Even if that means that the man or woman who's worked in the private sector for 20, 30 years and dedicated their life to a company and has busted their butt and put in the work and is finally offered an opportunity to rise up, to have a promotion, for them to be sat down by their boss and say, yeah, you earned this position, but we don't have enough Hispanics in this position right now. We don't have enough black people in this position right now. Sorry, we can't give it to you. That is outrageous. It's not outrageous, it's egregious. And it's racist, and it is ugly in every sense of the word. And that is what's being fed to children. And good on that man, good on that father in Illinois standing up to this crap and taking some truth to actual power. It's time there are more people doing that. And we are seeing more people do that. We are starting to see parents and teachers coming together to vote out the school boards who are bringing this racist bilge into our education system. We are starting to see coalitions being formed to run advertisements against woke companies, woke politicians. We are starting to see people entering the entertainment sphere with not just necessarily hardcore conservative values, but just good, all-American values. Values that used to unite us. Values that used to inspire us. Values that we aspired to have and to perpetuate to our kids, to our neighbors, to our friends. The idea of living up to your potential, being the best that you possibly can be. That is what rises us up out of poverty. That is what rises us up out of mediocrity. That is what brings real fulfillment and real joy. Not hatred, not division, not persecution. Not saying that you aren't where you want to be in your life because of him or her or them. Right? Right? That it's all the white man's fault. Right? Again, I am a straight white male Christian. Right? Explain to me how the hell my existence, how me filming a YouTube video in a garage in a house that I rent with two other guys, right? Tell me how that has oppressed you. Tell me how that has stopped you from graduating high school or going on to college. Tell me how that has forced you to commit yourself to a life of crime or mediocrity or failure. Tell me how that has made you give up on your potential and give up on yourself. I get that it is an unpopular truth. It is an unpopular truth to suggest that the majority of the situations you face in your life are directly attributable to your own actions. Yes, people are born into shitty circumstances sometimes. And sometimes even later on in life, we are dealt a bad hand. We're dealt a bad hand. And that sucks. And maybe that is outside of our control. But what is not outside of our control is our ability to do something about it. To, as cliche as it might sound, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. I don't even want to say that, really. Just making a freaking choice. Everything in this life is a choice. Greatness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Fulfillment is a choice. And it is a choice that only you can make. And you've got to stop blaming everyone else and vilifying everyone else because of the color of their skin and saying that your life is miserable because of somebody else's happiness. It's a lie. It is an absolute fundamental lie that is egregious, that is corroding everything that has made our nation great. It's eating away at our society. It's poisoning our children. And it's time that we stand up to that. It is time we nip the shit in the bud, pardon my language, here and now. Because if we don't, there is only one inevitable outcome that could possibly be achieved through critical race theory and legislation regarding equity. A race war. You know, I never thought that I would seriously suggest a race war being an actual possibility. Yet, here we are. You know, I grew up, I went through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, got my associate's degree. In all that time, in all those years, in all that education, I think I met one person who identified themselves as being a racist. And this was in elementary school, mind you. And now, from what I understand, the guy's grown out of it. He's working with handicapped children now, right? But the idea that all of my life experience, all of those thousands of kids, black, white, yellow, Hispanic, red, whatever, right? All those thousands of kids I went to school with, all those hundreds of kids I went to class with and sat down in the lunchroom with and broke bread with, that all of that was a lie, that I was oppressing them, that my parents were oppressing those minorities, that the reason that some of the kids in the school that I went to didn't find success outside of school is because of me, is because of my existence and because of the color of my skin. What a perfect recipe to be a perfectly miserable person the rest of your life. You want to talk about joy, you want to talk about fulfillment, you want to talk about the American ideal? Let's start talking about accountability. Let's start talking about our individual potential, individual conscience, individualism. That is what this bill of goods that's being sold through critical race theory seeks to strip not just our children, but all of us of. Our individualism, all of the things that make us unique and special. They want to chisel that away. They want to encourage our kids. They want to turn our children into little yes men and yes women who are more than happy to give away those fundamental values, those great things that make them who they are, to just give it all up so that they can be reduced to nothing more than a number on a page or a box in a chart, right? Black, white, men, woman, gay, straight, atheist, Catholic. Those words, that checklist, right? That is what determines your value. That is what determines your individual worth. And if you have the right combination of those things, well, hell, that means you are a victim, but it also means that you are a victim entitled to things. Entitled to things. Nobody is entitled to a damn thing in this life. And I'm sick and tired of that. I'm sick and damn tired of the entitlement, of the arrogance, of the victim blaming. Or rather, the idea that you are inherently a victim, regardless of your background, regardless of your personal decisions. I am tired of the lack of accountability. And that should matter. Accountability should matter. The truth, right? And individualism. Those things matter. And that's something a lot of people seem to have forgotten. That really is a sad thing to see. But I am hopeful. I am hopeful. I know that there is good going on out there. I know that there are good people at work, striving their best, to be their best, to inspire others to do the same, and to combat this, there's just no other word for it, evil. This evil that is spreading through our society like a wildfire right now. In the media, in movies, on TV, on the radio, on the internet, in our politics, in our schools. It's everywhere. But there are good people standing up, and that does give me hope. And I'm going to, like I said, continue to do my best to be that hope, to inspire that hope, and to do whatever I can to fight back. And I hope you do too. That's kind of the point of this whole show. Who thinks they're better than you and doesn't care if you subscribe to their channel? Don Lemon, which is why you should subscribe to our channel today.